is collaboration and growth. And this is the first time ever in the history of humanity, I think, that a doctor, a researcher, and person just like me is developing such program with people who have had a personal experience with an illness, including myself, right? I am in the same boat. So we are all getting together. And this is the first time that I believe something like this is happening. So how did we get here? So we started this program in October of last year. So we have been talking about collaboration and social reintegration, all of us since October. So from November to March, some of us have had the intention to collaborate. But what we are seeing that is happening is that life is not only about professional growth and collaboration. Life before that, life is personal, individual. And we all have been dealing with our individual journeys also, and functional illnesses and functional discoveries require a lot of introspection, time for rest. Is what I call the caterpillar going inside the. Then when we started as a group to work, then we were feeling again how is it to engage with the professional world. We were feeling the push and pull between personal health, family, professional collaboration. And also, a lot of the time, what I have been seeing, there is a memory of overwork. There is a memory of the professional life. There is a memory of stress that we have to learn to heal, to adjust, to renew, to turn it into what we want to do with our life's mission. So we have been exploring individually a lot and sometimes in the group releasing, talking about it. On June 16th, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, we had a conversation, more learning about the personal and the professional interrelationship. More patterns emerge and so on. So we have been handling what life has brought us. What's next? Where do we go from here? And then I was thinking, wherever I get lost, I remember who am I first? Like doctors ask you, who are you? Where are you? Right? Whenever we get lost, even in our own minds. So then I said, okay, well, let us go back to basics. Who are we, right? Because we're in this together. Like for a few years, we have been doing this together. So, okay, let us go back to the basics real quick. Science and shamanism, nature. So scientific knowledge for multicultural human health. All of us, all the cultures, all the country, we're getting together, scrutinizing and utilizing scientific knowledge embedded in the universe. We know that it's beyond the earth, the sun, and the wind, and then spirituality comes about. So we're talking about also working these networks of religious and spiritual energy and functioning. And then I'm trying to set things in a way where, the disabled can come, the ones who are sick, the ones who are atheists and do not believe in anything, those rebel, and the ones that have been harmed by religious organizations. Let us talk about this. Let us be real. So we're science and we're nature and spirituality. So what do I do? What do we do within this umbrella of I believe in science and I believe in the power of nature and we're part of the greater collective? Yeah, what do we do in this universe where we believe in these branches of science and nature? So we do education in our families, with one another, in society. We try to do a little bit of research, right? Experiential education is still going on. We're in level 4, social reintegration. I developed the branch of medical, social, legal activism, getting to schools, collaborating with other doctors, reviewing the disability policies. This is very big. I mean, there are so many opportunities for us to exert ourselves and realize ourselves. This is another one. Then community joy and well-being. This is part of the spiritual community, the F&D community that gets together around nature in places of joy and well-being, right? Not in places where there is noise and pollution. No, no. Let us build a community in the healthy environment. And then the branch of collaboration and social reintegration for minorities, for the disabled, for immigrants, for LGBTQ. There is a big movement now in the F&D community, right? Doing more research in the LGBTQ one and about sex and gender and all these things. So we wanna open our doors and make it clear that we're at the forefront of all the movements and all the important aspects. So we're amazing. Like what other, I said it the other day, what other doctor and patients and are getting together, just regular human beings, friend to friend, shoulder to shoulder, building something together. And if we do this right and it works, and I think we're already noticing, we can develop a new way of partnership between professionals and patients, like new businesses, all these amazing things. Okay, I was thinking about the guidelines and I thought, I think it has to be, and I mentioned it the other day, something like enlightened business model or an enlightened realization, materialization model. And I thought about some guidelines or characteristics and maybe I'm almost sure that this is short. We may have to come up with more. Intuition, oh, we're in touch with our integrative self. We move with intuition. We support one another and we understand one another. If someone takes a step back, if someone comes back, if someone doesn't do it, if someone does it too much, we support and we understand. Now, we need to start setting up priorities. This is kind of a new one because we're so big that we may be getting a little diluted. Teamwork, we're doing teamwork. But I was wondering if priorities, like take it, like the team, all of us working in one priority each week, maybe that would work better. The nice space, we're already doing this. Maybe we do some things a couple times a week, like this week has been twice. Times a week, bug things. I don't know what I wrote there. Oh, yeah, so maybe daily we can do a couple of small things or one small thing, but especially nice pace and going with the flow. But going with the flow, but at a nice pace with intuition, right? Understanding the priorities, accountability. Like, okay, if this week we're gonna work on this, like all of us or someone saying like, hey, how are we doing? Like, are we being able? Like, how are things going? Do you need help? Accountability, materialization. Okay, we want to materialize things. Things shouldn't stay in the realm of ideas. So materializing, even if, and we're doing it, we are materializing a lot. And the most important one, it has to bring about well-being and joy and fun. Okay. So enlighten business model or materialization. Anything else? Let's use the WhatsApp group to send more as you discover them over the next week. Now, this that happens in the mainstream business world and companies and organizations and movements that succeed, there is usually like, I don't know, like someone who comes up with the idea or say like, hey, let's do this. I don't know, you can call it the owner in traditional world or the leader. Then there is, or the same person or other person that is kind of helping manage also.
or executing, right? Usually you see these positions, the CEO, right? The manager, these positions are in the mainstream, but it seems that it kind of works. And then you have a whole bunch of departments or projects, right? Think traditionally, like even in the church and in the Buddhist monasteries, like you have some kind of leadership and a whole bunch of everyone works, but there is some kind of organization there. So when I was thinking about this, it's like maybe we have to take leadership positions and start separating these in project names or leadership position, some kind of like dividing forces, but at the same time working as a team. So I was thinking about this. Anyways, since we started working, remember that provider's letter? It's almost done. We have that and we have not used it. Then we developed the online topics. So many cool topics. That we develop that we want to talk between ourselves and invite the community. And then the retreat. If we just go by that we already have, well, the provider's letter can go, we can start sharing it in the hospitals. The online topics, yeah, we're gonna get together in Zoom, but again, we need to network and we need to do some online reaching out and gathering people, to quote Michelle. And then there are other things that we haven't even explored, like can we become more educators, more consultants? How do we use experiential education at other levels? And how about forming a spiritual community and other business ideas that came up during the retreat? Let's stay in the first three that we already started: providers letter, online topics, and the retreats. So we have things to offer, but then the reaching out, the marketing, the gathering, the spreading out the word. I think we can divide that in creating the material that we're going to share, and then we have some outlets, and then we need to get the information out there. So these are things about the marketing strategy that I have been thinking, and I put it together. One day, I mean, there are so many, right? How do we prioritize, organize ourselves? Do we assign a leader? But there is a strategy. I'm creating content. There are the outlets. How do we get it out there? So we have to think about it and get it done. Who is the leader? How do we position ourselves? Maybe some things all of us can do it, some others individual leaders. Then during the retreat, we spoke about people that we have to reach, organizations, the networking. But yes, Naropa Institute is here in Colorado doing work with mindfulness and consciousness and psychedelics. There were some names of people that we have to contact. FND Hope Colorado, FND Friends Universe, the networking part. Yeah, who is the leader? How do we do it? Right? How do we position ourselves? I have been talking to Afra and Marie. Oh, so so I was thinking, okay, but what are the priorities? Like, for example, today is Friday. Like next week, what do we do next week if we want to start tackling the week and positioning ourselves? So, well, yeah, spreading the word of what we're doing. And then there are two things. The August Arts Month, that's already in development. So I think we should focus on that and the topics of the week. I don't know, the provider letter, where do we put it here? Where do we put the provider's letter? Here, right? What are the priorities? I'm gonna send you all this document and this video so you can review it. I think we can work on the August Arts Month. And then the topics that we put together, that we say we're going to give a little bit of a snip for people. Then yeah, we can start doing a couple of those next week. We already had a couple meetings this week on the blog posting. Who likes writing? Then if we decide to do this, show a little bit about who we are and what we do, then we can do little discussions about what each class is going to be about, and then we can express a little bit and exchange ideas about what we do, science and shamanism, experiential education, research, right? These things. But so many things, this is so big. I think we have to grow and look at the things we didn't even have gotten time to discuss. The spiritual organization, right? Like I'm looking for counselors and people who are interested in spiritual topics and religious topics. What has gone wrong before? What does the society need? How should it look like? How do we offer it? And then recruiting. All these things that I presented the other day, and now what I did was that I added a description of each position that we could get covered. People can come and stay with us, and then they can become the leaders of all these positions. We have so many things that we could do. There are business ideas also. I'm gonna send you all these that we haven't talked about. Even the F&D festival that we are planning for next year, the multi-state gatherings, having F&D gatherings in various states where people live, and just moving and doing a little bit of tourism, and yes, so many ideas. The research questions, like coming, imagine moving the healing centers, all the therapy centers to nature. What are the benefits of walking barefoot in nature for proprioception? How does nature affect your sensitivity, your adaptation to what is good or not? How does it allow you to release, to regulate? When we encounter obstacle challenges, Michelle went through this, and Angela went through this. Angela in Peru and Michelle here, right? There is something about being out there in nature. So should we put together a weekly calendar, for example, where every day we do like a one quick contact with someone, a phone call, like, hey, we're doing this, we have all these opportunities. Do you have F&D, or are you in the F&D world, or are you a friend, a family member? Do you have free time? Or maybe we search for the email of some organization or some doctor, or maybe we send a text, or maybe a social media posting or commenting. I am enjoying commenting a lot more than posting. Commenting is so easy to comment, and then people look at your comments. I have been commenting on people who have thousands of followers, and then people reply to me like, what's happening in Colorado? So commenting can be a really fun and quick tool, because in 5 minutes you can send like 10 comments, right? Like 20 seconds a comment. Maybe twice a week, then we schedule something bigger, more fun, like lives or the classes, or we send an email, or we write a blog post, or we do some co-working. That's about it. So for next meeting, for next conversation, there are a few possibilities. Either we decide, okay, for next week, I'm going to do this and that. So we position ourselves. Or maybe each person takes ownership of one blog post and starts to write it up. Maybe the blog post can be like, why are we doing F&D over 50? Why are we doing a class for family members? Why, right? And collaborative blog posting can be, for example, everyone writes one paragraph on the same topic, and then that's it. We have like 5 or 10 different opinions on one topic. That's a blog post. Next meeting, we can talk more about the spiritual movement, or we can talk about specific positions, the recruitment positions, or the marketing strategy. And there are some things to finalize about, hey, how do we gather more people? Oh, things that we never finished from the other meeting. What is that common name that we're going to use to announce ourselves? Should everyone use my account, for example? Like everyone goes into LinkedIn and uses my account, everyone goes to Instagram, everyone goes to Facebook and uses my account. Maybe I create an account for TikTok, for Twitter, and then like, I don't know, how do we? And then I was gonna, yeah, leave it at this to do the check-in, mind, emotions, spirituality, environment, society, uh, our network. Mm, yeah, how do we feel physically, materially? I guess in terms of the physical body, or our health and our time. But what are we doing for next week? Are we ready to start, and how, who, when, what? Which one? Oh, which one in terms of topic? Are we starting with a topic for next week?